Hello, welcome to this week's episode of Web3 Stories and News. Today we are focusing on the Solana ecosystem. We want to give a big shout out to Week in Solana News, the newsletter that aggregates all of the Solana news, puts it into an easy to read format, and goes directly to our inbox. So everyone be sure to subscribe, and thanks to Week in Solana News, that'll be in the description. First, we're going to start with on-chain stats. We're going to actually look at the Solana blockchain, some data to see what's going on there. And first, the block number of active addresses on the Solana network. We can see here over the last year, it's, started around 500K, down to 300, around 500K again, bottomed around 200, bottomed again later in the year around 200, and now we're in an uptrend. So this is daily. We're seeing around, 400, 500,000 active addresses. And this just shows the network is continuing to grow. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a lull and we get another dip here. But at the end of the day, blockchains are meant to be used if they're adding value. So it's good to see more and more users coming back. Okay, DeFi Llama next. Total value locked on Solana is at 622 million. We can see in 2021, it peaked at about 10 billion, and we've been on a downtrend ever since, but this is a bear market, and maybe we are getting back into a bull market. So we'll see, just this year, we've been in a solid uptrend, right? We're now at about 622 million, still have about 1.5 billion in stable coins. So a lot of stable coins being used on Solana and revenue at about $56,000 per day. So these are revenue from users using Solana paid to the validators. Okay, next we're going to talk about scaling and infrastructure. News just related to how Solana is getting faster or better, and what is the infrastructure just underpinning Solana in general. And so first, Phantom Wallet. Phantom Wallet is the dominant Solana wallet, one of the first. They announced their new cross-chain swapper that you can bridge tokens across Ethereum and Solana directly within the wallet. So that's great news for users of Phantom. Next, Synapse Labs. Synapse Labs is a cross-chain bridge. They now support Solana. So if you're bridging between different chains, Solana is now supported on Synapse Labs. And we also have news from the Neon EVM team. They're working on letting users pay transaction fees with different tokens. So when you use Ethereum or you use Solana, you pay for gas in the native token. And Neon EVM is bringing the virtual machine, the Ethereum virtual machine, to Solana, and they're going to allow for users to pay transaction fees with Sol, with USDC, and USDT, rather than just their native token. The Neon EVM is set to launch in Q1 of 2024, so within the next probably 4 to 6 months here, probably sooner, and we'll see if the EVM can get adoption on Solana. Next, Certic, the auditing firm, has released a report about security flaws on the Saga phone, which contained a bootloader vulnerability. Solana Labs actually came out and said the claims are false. So this is worth digging into if you're a security expert, or even if you use the Saga phone, it might be worth paying attention to. Certic is typically a good auditing firm, but Solana Labs probably knows their product the best. So maybe there's some nuances here. Next, Solana is getting a new or updated block explorer. So Solana FM is overhauling its product. So blockchains may be transparent, but Solana's data is very heavy and might be better described as translucent. And so a new block explorer called Quantum is vying to change that. So when you're transacting on chain, Solana is very fast, very low latency, and there's so much data getting piped through there every second. And if people want to see this data, it can be quite complex. And so the Solana FM team is building a new explorer that prioritizes simplicity in its presentation. So that's exciting for, users and developers alike. All right, we're going to move on to the application layer. This is the apps that are built on top of Solana and usually building some kind of consumer focus or business. They're, building products on top of Solana. First is Pyth. Pyth, I guess this also could have been in the infrastructure, but Pyth airdropped the Pyth token to retroactive users and probably development teams. So Pyth is an oracle similar to Chainlink. It provides data into Solana, like token prices and weather and stuff like that, Chainlink has had the Link token for a long time. Now Pyth has the Pyth token. So if you're interested in the Oracle mania, Pyth might be worth looking at. I'm a huge fan of Chainlink. They've been a major contributor to Web3. So Pyth is coming out here with their token and a retroactive airdrop. And next, CFX Labs has raised around $10 million to expand. What they're doing is stablecoin remittances. It says here that remittances are one of the most compelling use cases for stablecoins, offering fast, nonstop settlements and cheap transactions using blockchains. So this is for Solana stablecoins. This is the market that XRP Ripple has tried to go after for 5+ years. A new player in town or fresh funding from CFX Labs using Solana for remittances. Okay, now we're going to get to Kamino. Kamino 2.0 is live. They are a borrow lend market with a brand new UI, new risk management, new tooling. So it's taken them over a year to deploy this. That's really exciting. If you want to do borrowing and lending on Solana, they are one of multiple players to choose from, and 2.0 from Kamino is out now. And next, Decrypt released an article about these are all the Solana games on the Epic Game Store right now. And it goes on to say how Solana is the most popular non-EVM choice for game developers. And then it's kind of a roundup that goes into all the different games. So you can scroll through this and you'll see it covers Star Atlas, it covers Aurori, it covers Yaku, and many others. But Solana is the most popular non-EVM choice for game developers, and that's cool. Finally, Armada. Armada released their governance and token economics design, and Armada is a platform sort of for launching tokens on Solana. So they claim to be a public good for the next generation of token ecosystem on Solana, and they now allow staking of SPL tokens with voting, etc. So that's pretty interesting for people who have a project or are participating in a project. Maybe some voting can be done through Armada's platform. Next is Parcel. Parcel launched version 3. They are a real estate platform for liquid real estate exposure. They also offer leverage. So they have up to 10x leverage on real estate trading, which is kind of crazy. Leverage in real estate has been a thing for a long time, but not in a synthetic manner like this. So stay safe out there, but Parcel did release their V3 for real estate exposure. And now we have RainFi. RainFi is introducing the first custom peer-to-peer loans for DeFi and NFTs on Solana. So if you have NFTs, you can engage in person-to-person loans. This is worth looking into. NFTs and lending has not really been a big market. So RainFi is kind of going after this, and it's worth checking out if you're into NFTs and you kind of want to do some borrow lend. Just be careful out there. Next, other news. So we're just going to look at some news that didn't fit into the other categories. And first, Helios Labs. They mentioned that inscriptions are taking Solana by storm. And based on the BRC20 standard, which is bringing NFTs to Bitcoin, Solana has the SPL20 standard. And it says SPL20 inscriptions enable the direct on-chain storage of digital art. And take a look at this thread. It kind of goes into all of it. New innovation on Solana for on-chain art storage. Next, we're going to look at Reddit. Someone posted which coding languages to learn for a new Solana dev. And this had 18 comments and kind of a lot of activity, people discussing what programming language to do. If you're building on the EVM, you do Solidity. If you're building on the SVM, there's different options. I know a lot of people choose Rust. I'm not a developer myself, so maybe head over here and check it out. Obviously, everything will be in the description below. Next, we have Reddit again. November transfers of USDC on Solana have reached an all-time high. So in November, $54 billion of USDC has been moved on chain. This is the transfer volume. So it's exciting to see that stablecoins are really finding product market fit on Solana. We also saw that Visa news a few months ago. And so that is exciting. Finally, we have Solana's Genesis story. Cointelegraph covered Anatoly's eureka moment when he actually came up with Solana for the first time. He says, I literally had 2 coffees and a beer, and I had this eureka moment at 4 a.m. So this is a famous story he always talks about. We call it the 2 coffees and a beer meme. He loves talking about this. But if you don't know about the original Solana story and how making a platform that has transparent data, as fair and open rights, as fast as the speed of light, check out the story on Cointelegraph. Okay. Thank you everyone for listening to this week's episode of Web3 Stories and News for the Solana ecosystem. Please do head over to Week in Solana News, the newsletter that provided us with all this information. You can subscribe to that newsletter for free, and we look forward to seeing you next week.